All right, let me start this thing off the right way. Gotta take it back home. Gotta take it back to the motherland.
Take it back, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the man himself here. But let this play a little bit, you know? Yeah. While I enjoy this cold beverage, you know, on this Sunday afternoon. Cheers.
Man, I need me a cold beverage too, man. Hey yo, can I get some?
Mara ngapi umechoka, yeah. Mara ngapi imetosha, yeah.
Yeah.
Mara ngapi nimetoka, yeah. Mara ngapi umenikosa, yeah. Mara ngapi nimechocha, yeah. Mara ngapi niko ocha, yeah. Mara ngapi nakujenga.
Yes, sir. This song here. Every time I'm running my last 500 meters of my mile, this is the one I'm just breezing through it. Like right now, I'm breezing through my run right now, getting to where I have to get to. This man.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Bruh, you know, bruh. If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone that is paying attention or viewing, listening to Lessons Learned ATW, ladies and gentlemen, we have singer, songwriter extraordinaire Steph Kapela in the building. And that song that I was playing right there is Marangapi on his latest and greatest project. I think it's a masterpiece. You know, it's strictly for the ladies, but fellas, you could, you know, like Drake says, you know, guys are gonna get it claiming they're getting it for their sisters or their girl. Yeah. You know, Vikky Secrets is out on every DSP, every digital streaming platform. I personally am using Apple Music, but I'm sure you can find it on Spotify. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it on Boom in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, Boomplay. Ladies, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have the great one, Steph Kapela. What's up, Steph?
What up, bro? Man, thank you for having me, bro.
Man, the history in this gathering right here. Stories that we can share on camera and not share on camera. You know, the creativity, the collaboration, the growth.
Right.
You know, but first of all, you know, before I even dive into the meat and potatoes of our discussion, let's start off with introducing our guests. So, Steph, could you mind just sharing your background and your story with my listeners and my viewers on the Lessons Learned ATW?
Sure thing. So my government names are Kenyan. I was born and raised in Kenya. I started doing music pretty young, but I didn't do music professionally until like I went to the States for further studies. And that's when like around 2010 is when I officially like recorded my first track, and like it's been pretty much like they say that the rest is history. But you know, like that's how we met. You know, we met back in Kansas.
Absolutely.
Met off. So I've been doing the R&B, rap, type of versatile kind of like artistry pretty much throughout my entire career.
Yeah, Steph, yeah, like we did meet in Kansas. I don't know if it's through a mutual friend or just through the internet, but just the law of attraction.
I remember. I think it was over the internet. I think what happened was, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, I dropped a song called Round Here, anyway.
Yeah.
Like our experience, you know, as Africans,
right,
trying to do this music thing, trying to exist within, you know, this framework, this American framework.
Right.
At the time, I didn't really feel like I was getting the kind of like love that I was giving out. So it was just one of those like venting type of songs, and like I think both of us really related to that concept because we were both
absolutely
African. So we just kind of connected over that. Like you hit me up over that song, you're like, yo, that's my jam, and you actually pulled up to the crib, and you know, we drank, we had friends ever since. Man.
Yeah, that song till today, man. Like, you know, the funny part about this whole our inception of friendship, how all it all began. I didn't know that you could sing because I remember back then, secret, I like I don't know, you did it secretly, but you became comfortable later on. You like used to rap, like you were bars on bars. You had
No,
like,
I still do. I
I
still
mean,
rap, but
you still, but like you never really used to flex the vocal muscle. I mean, you would do it, and then, but maybe that was just what I was exposed to until you like, no, bro, I was singing. I was even singing in Swahili before you met me. I was in a group, and you know, you say you, and then you told me about the beginning of you starting with gospel and then switching from gospel to more Kenyan, East African based, and then switching to a worldwide type of sound. And now I had to do my homework on you, and I was like, oh, I just know him from around here. I know him from other songs, and like you had that you had like a Kendrick J, like you have very intricate. I mean, you are not like super revolution. That's not just. You're more like cool. Like you're not like a revolutionary. You're more self-expressive, but very witty lines, very clever lines, like lines that lines that you could remember. So I think that's what stuck out with me to me because at that time I was still also discovering my art, my artistry, because I was like most people, I was just a rapper, and I didn't know how to create a song. I didn't know how to structure a song. I mean, as we get older, we start learning. Oh man, I need to let the beat breathe. I was just rapping, like I even have no structure, just and the beautiful part about it is the same way as this podcast. I don't know what I'm doing, but it looks fun because I'm not professional, right? If I really knew what I was doing, I would over try, and it would be like, okay, it's just that there's something about meeting something new, something fresh. The same way we like some artists coming out of nowhere with horrible song structuring, like the Bobby Shmurda hot whatever. It was not structured, no hook, nothing, just a guy rapping, and that was me. And when I met you, I was, I think, in that phase of not knowing what I'm doing, but just having that.
Rapper.
I was just rapping, yeah. And then, both of us start to develop, and then you become, I'm in the studio with you. Your creativity's on the spot. Like, it just happened. Boom, you taking care of, like, I'm like, dude, this dude's. I even told it to you in your face. That's the first time I witnessed with my eyes effortless talent. Like, I'm around rappers. People sit in a corner and start, rehearsing words, like repeating it, but for you, it was more like you were quiet. And the next thing I know, you sneaked into the booth and added vocals on sliding through your DMs. And I was like, I'll be honest, I was drunk. And we were supposed to watch the Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight, and I could not make it that night. Remember? And I was like, you know what? I was not even. Doug. And then you I don't know how you sneaked you got into the booth, laid your stuff, and switched an average song to this. I won't lie to you, it was one of the most well processed songs I've done and man, I wanted to give you your thanks there, and then not to just talk over it, but our relationship goes way back. So Steph,
we grew together, bro. I think we grew together. Like that was definitely a time. Like I think at that point, I was beginning to get like heavily influenced by Drake and Drake's type of sound. Like I was beginning to get like influenced by it so much. But like when I met you, I remember just listening to your words, and like I remember thinking like this guy is one of those. He's one of those like I like to call him like spatial rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are out of this world. Like the way you put your metaphors together, the content, like the subject matter, like it almost like you could confuse it to be conscious type of music because like you touch on so much, like you touch on like so many subjects within the same verse and whatever. And I think that's what you mean by you were just rapping.
Yeah, but I didn't have any structure.
Yeah, but then like we sat down together and we had several talks.
Oh yeah. Dude, you have content of me talking drunk, and I was telling you to delete that. You're like
Oh, by the time we were
manager
getting
has
this
it. Your
group,
manager has that content. Is it still a lot around when I was just yapping when we were like drunk and we were just talking about the situation of rap and the local scene and all that?
like I remember us drinking and then just like getting like talking about everything, bro. Like we
Yeah,
talked from like immigration issues that we had, like in
yeah,
like just in general, like how music is perceived, like what like our dreams, what we wanted to become, what we wanted to accomplish. Like
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
I feel like me and you really vibed off the fact that we were both musicians in a foreign land and we had big dreams, just like
yeah,
big superstars,
right,
and we were literally like just starting out. Even
right.
though like I remember you already like put out like some albums that you played me a whole bunch of your songs, bro. And I remember just
Yeah,
checking out the visuals. You being like, yeah, I directed that. Like, yeah, I put that together, and that's
yeah.
something that like up till this day, like including my guy, like including like the executive producer who gets the secrets and everything I do. Up till this day, like he still swears by you. He still swears by you,
Mm,
right? So
wow, thank you.
like I think honestly, I think it was a good fit. It was a good
Yeah,
fit for us to kind of come together and start like
right.
learning off of each other. Because we had like mad concepts, like you had mad concepts, and I was over here being like, well, I can rap, but like I'm like I didn't know. My mind wasn't there yet. My mind wasn't
Yeah,
there yet, and I still feel like I'm growing. I still feel like I'm still have a lot to do. Still a lot to accomplish. But
yeah,
yeah, bro, we come so far.
yeah. That at that time, I remember even in our discussions, there was a common theme, and it was mainly based on I'm dreaming with my eyes open type of thing. Like it's there was just this feeling. It was like a feeling around this feeling that any day something is gonna happen because the talent is there. Just any day the right person is gonna listen to it. That type of thing, Just that
Right.
just living in that type of mood, and then finding another person that's has that same feeling. Like anything can. I'm just one song away from changing my family's life type of thing, because at that time we used to talk about you used to tell me like, bro, because you had done a lot of music too. I mean, you had done a lot of music, because I remember our first discussion was how to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, how to take our mixing to the next level. And I think you were in between engineers at that time, and you're telling me like, hey, I'm comfortable with this engineer. And I told you
Right.
like, yeah, it's good to be with one engineer. But you're like, man, how did they mix that? And we worked with oh boy,
Right.
and you're like,
Right. Exactly.
I like that, the way that sound, and that was growth right there. And then I'm looking through my notes right now, so I remember that, and I also remember just the urgency that you had in I want to improve my sound to, okay, you know what? I already made songs for the women. I flipped a PYT. I think you flipped PYT, right? Michael Jackson's Pretty Young Thing.
No, it wasn't that. What song was
Rock with You? Wait, let me see. Let me look here.
Yeah, that was it. It was Rock with You. It was my like it was a
Yeah,
sample.
yeah. And I remember.
Jackson Rock with You. Yeah.
Yes.
Shout
Yes.
out to JB. Man, I ain't talked to JB in a minute. Like, but yeah, it was a collab. I remember I did that. Yeah. Right.
Yes. And I remember like, just seeing you do all that, and also like you are transitioning to now, okay, I'm gonna start doing my own visuals. And I'm like, how are you gonna do that? Because in my mind, I was like, are you gonna be holding your own camera? I was like, no, my manager's gonna do all this. And I'm like, how are you doing that? To me, I was like, because at that time I was working with Andre Kemai, right? And after that, actually, you also reached out after you saw the Point Blank video, and you told me, hey, how did you add the red or the whatever in the background? And okay, timeline, guys, forgive me. I'm speaking in a lot of abstractions and just meandering with my thought process, but pretty much I was amused that there was an artist taking ownership in, I'm gonna do my own videos, because I thought that was ridiculous. Like, how are you gonna perform and also be the person in the camera? And then you did it. Now later on, fast forwarding, I ended up doing the same thing because I was inspired by you. I started shooting my own videos. Like, Oh Lord was shot by me, Moses is shot by me, but through the help of, you know, my lady at that time, you know, my lady. And but understanding you could use direction, so you inspired me in that way. Talking about inspiration, right? Kapela, do you mind sharing with the listenership your influences and people that have inspired you to become the person that you are today?
I think first of all, just starting out like back at home, I think I just wanted to. Back when I was like 14, 15, like, you know, going into high school or whatever, like I just wanted to be, I wanted to be like all the Kenyan singers I used to be.
Yeah.
At that time, like yeah, there were rappers, but like Kenya was still like the music industry was still kind of young.
Yes.
It was still growing.
Yes.
So like for me, I was more influenced by like American R&B, American hip hop, like just the whole American vibe, like culture. Like I think that like completely kind of like, and pretty much for the entire my entire generation, especially like growing up, you know, like that's what we were exposed to, right? And you find like a lot of rappers my age right now, like they'll rap in English and doing what I do, and it's just like we're heavily.
Right.
I think like now growing up and actually like being in the States and, you know, trying out different things, and it really was a process of just trial and error. Because like, remember when we met, like I told you, like I was in a group, shout out to by Mamba, like, called 18, and we did like a whole bunch of jams. We even put out a CD, it was called Beba. I just remember that day. I was like, oh my God.
Dubai is it's like the super hype. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Dubai is like the super hype man. Like he's amazing on stage.
Oh my God, bro!
He's energy. He's energy.
Bro, like changed one bit.
Yeah, I'm like,
you know, and like us guys, like we put out a CD, and I remember us performing for like an entire like, or rather pro Kenyan crowd, with a few like white women and a few white guys, I guess. But I remember Kenyans weren't fucking with us at that point. You know, like they really didn't.
Yeah, the ones in Kansas, right? The ones in Wichita. That time.
For the music we were doing at that point.
Yeah.
So like it became a thing. Like for me, I took it personally. I think I took it personally and at the wrong time, because even just going back to what you were saying, like we were daydreaming. We were dreaming like that one song, you know?
Yeah.
And we put out like a whole bunch of songs. We put out a whole CD, and nobody was really checking.
Yeah.
And us, like we had like $5 CDs, and we were trying to push them, motherfuckers.
Right.
And nobody was buying them. Like, you know, like a drink is like $5, right? A drink is like $5. Like, you know, the nice cocktail, whatever. I don't know if it still is, but a guy would tell you like, man, I really don't. I'm crap. I don't have nothing on me right now.
Right.
But the nigga be drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Oh, this is off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, you ain't got $5 and you drunk and the drink is $5. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I took it personally. I took it very personally. I remember. And then after that point is when I made the decision. I was like, okay, you know what? These white women are coming up to me and being like, I really like what you guys did. I really love what you guys did. Where can I get the CD? Let me buy the CD. Let me whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. So if these white people don't even understand what I'm saying and they love this music, what if they understood actually what I was saying? And it just clicked on me, and I decided, I was like, yo, you know what, man? I could do this hip hop thing. You know, like I've been doing this thing and whatever like my entire life. So I think I could do this. I switched over. And when I switched over and started doing like songs in English, whether I was still talking about our experience,
right?
But I was doing it in English now, and that kind of like got the notoriety growing a little bit, and through a process of trial and error, I personally came to discover my sound,
Right.
Because initially I was just trying to do what Drake did, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, eventually I ended up like taking or borrowing from several different people who influenced my life, and just kind of creating what I do.
Yeah, man. I remember that, and you know, there's yeah, you're right. Like you put your, you know, you put your sweat equity into music. You know, people don't know like the costs of, you know, and it's in every business, in every profession. It's the same way. You have to start with, you know, it's always a story of triumph. You know, it's never easy from the beginning, you know, and that's one thing I tell new artists, new rappers coming up to me, because everyone wants that instant gratification, that instant success, that I'm ready for, you know, I'm ready to headline, I'm ready to jump on a song with you, you know. And when a veteran artist makes you jump through some hoops, it's just to test your character, just to test how bad you want it. Because it's not to say that I'm hating on the young dude. It's not that. It's just that I don't even have a machine of my own as an artist. So I just want you to at least hold your weight a little bit, and at least have a little bumps and bruises like I did, so we could relate there and know that, you know, not take anything for granted. Nothing is a hand me down type of situation. And it's not like it's not like an artist is carving you or he's being jealous. He's like, oh, he's gonna kill me. And it's not that. It's just that, you know, you lift your own way for a little bit. Make some songs by yourself. Push music by yourself and get those no's. Get that I can't listen to your CD right now. You know, get that I put out this $2,000 video and nobody's watching it. Get that, and then appreciate it and get angry, and then go into that booth and create art. Create something that is gonna, use that, and then that's when another person that went through those bumps and bruises to get whatever they got. You know, if it's 20,000 followers, if it's 100, you know, there has to be bumps and bruises along the way, and maybe game can be shared, because now your contemporaries, your peers, now you have something that I can learn from you and you can learn from me, or we both, you know, have a common story, rather than you just waking up one day, you buy some equipment, you know, spend your, you know, do all that, and then you want me to jump on your song. Cool, I'll jump on it, but I can't help you, because guess what? I don't have a machine on me. I don't have like a record label. I have nothing. The only thing I can do is create art with you. And,
you know, and it's so much more than that. It's not just like you getting bumps and bruises because you gotta go through the game so that we can do something together. Like, I think it also, like, the level of care and the level of appreciation that you put into a track. Like, when you've gone through all this stuff,
right,
like, you're gonna push this song different. Like, you know, like, if I just give you a collab, you take the collab, you take the song out, and you expect it to do well because you have Kapela on it.
Right.
But you have no idea how, like, to actually push that track, because you haven't been through you haven't been through them trenches. You know, you don't know how to navigate yet.
Right.
And it's not saying that, like, I'm not gonna do anything with you until you figure that out. I'm just saying, like, yo, you know what, like, put in a little bit more work, understand what the work is, because it is a work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, doing the music, writing the music down, recording the music, that's the easy one. That's the easy one. Like, anybody can do it.
Right.
But pushing that songwriting, getting it to, like, radio, and getting it to, you know, like, TV, and getting it to, you know, or your social media, getting the right kind of branding, like, behind it and all that kind of stuff, like, it just doesn't happen overnight. You have to create those relationships, and sometimes it takes money, sometimes it takes time. It takes
everything.
Time.
And when
it's very valuable time for you to go through that process. They keep saying trust the process, but the truth is, like, truly have to go through the process to appreciate it. So by the time you're doing that record, by the time you're doing that song, bro, like, man, like, you really push it like that's your baby. That's like, if this don't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And if it don't work, you go back with all that frustration, record another one, and come back and try to do it like better than you did.
Yeah. I mean, I may be different, but there's nothing that kind of motivates me more than rejection. Either you're gonna fold and say I quit, then it's not for me, or you're gonna realize, okay, I guess this is me to take some time out to to figure out why it's not clicking, why it's not working, or just stay doing what you do. People are just gonna appreciate that you're tough. Like, yo, this dude is not quitting. And guess what? As you're doing what you're doing over time, if you're getting one fan a day, that will be 365 a year. You just keep on doing all that, and then you find yourself having an organic fan base that cannot be shook, cannot be, it's just they're not fickle. They're not people who are your fans because you did a song with Kapela, and Kapela's fans are used to Kapela. So if you do your own thing and you don't have a song without Kapela, guess what? You will not get those clicks that you got with doing a song with Kapela. Same thing as, same thing in any field, even I think in podcasting too. I'm appreciating the slow grind because I'm enjoying it. It makes me feel like how I felt when I was doing music. Not knowing what I have, what I'm doing, but having a weird, deluded dream. And it's good to be delusional as a creative. Always stay dreaming. Be a kid. The thing about being an artist, always keep a kid-like, dream-like mind state, because that will always keep you creative. If you become realistic, and the robber of happiness is comparing yourself with things, people, and how people are moving, thinking it's upward motion for this person. Why comparison will steal away your joy, your happiness, and your childlike idea of creating. So always having that, I'm happy, I'm geeked because I'm playing with these toys, I'm doing this on my podcast, getting a camera, doing just not even worried about who's gonna listen to. I'm just worried about the quality of production. And then later on, just improving on that. And I don't want to lose that childlike I'm learning type of thing. I don't know the rules, but because I don't want to even learn the rules. Because if I learn the rules, guess what? I'm gonna be
all about the rules.
I'm gonna be all about the rules, and I'm always gonna be marginalizing myself to fit into a standard that legendary podcasters are doing, like Joe Rogan or whatever, or any other big podcast out there. So I really don't want to have a rule. I just don't even want to call it a podcast. I want to call it a show. So that's the same way I would give advice to artists that are starting. Keep that inner child in you.
It's amazing that you even mentioned that, because I was just reflecting on that today. Like today, this very day, I was just reflecting on that, and I was thinking like, the first thing that completely takes you away out of your game is stopping playing your game. Like when you stop playing the game that you've been playing and how you want to play the game, and start like, well, how is the game played? How did so and so do it? Like, but so and so's doing this and so's doing that. Like that shit can have you depressed real quick. Now, let me give you a good example, like something I'm going through right now.
Right.
So Vikky Secrets is doing pretty good, like on Apple, right?
Right.
Doing pretty good on Apple, and pretty much everywhere. It's being streamed pretty good. But at this moment, we still don't have any music videos for it. And I think I've only done like one live, or whatever. Right? And it's not a question of not me wanting to do it. It's not a question of me not pushing myself or whatever. It's just that like sometimes the resources and this whole situation of like
COVID-19, yeah.
People, like it's not as easy to get like things moving, especially when we still have a curfew and we are under a lockdown, and
social distancing while you're shooting a video is also weird. How you social distance when you're shooting a video?
But the thing that I had to remember and put myself back was, like, first of all, like I remember when I put out, like, you remember the Kick City mixtape when I put it out, like when I was still back in the States.
Right.
That didn't sell shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably, like, I sold some physical copies, but online, I have no idea how it did. I don't think it did anything. Then I put out like the Steph EP. I put that out in 2019 January, I believe, January or February, right? And it did slightly better. It did slightly better than like Kick City did. But now I've put out Vikky Secrets, and it's doing much better than both, right, projects combined, and probably all my other projects combined. But here I am, instead of being like, okay, we've moved, like we've actually made some progress. How can we build on that? Instead of me like focusing on that, I'm trying to look at, so what is everybody else doing this time? Like, oh man, I just think how people do like like this really dope live, or I just seen like somebody else do like a really dope whatever, whatever, and I start feeling inadequate, like I'm not representing myself or my brand or whatever, like in the best way possible. But it's just not true. It's just one of those things that come into your head and you entertain them, and it's truly wrong because all you're supposed to do is do better than you did yesterday. And if you've
Absolutely.
done better than you did yesterday, then improve on the design. Don't worry about buying another design. Don't worry about
Right.
copying another design. Don't worry about
Right.
becoming another design. Just
Right.
improve on what you got. Compare yourself to yourself. And like a lot of times when I say stuff like this, like I'm usually not even talking to, like, now notice I'm not even talking to you as much as I'm
Right.
talking to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you need to remind yourself constantly
Absolutely.
that your gift, what you have to contribute to the world. And if you focus on that and you start realizing that, man, there's a lot you can do, man. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah. I mean, you hit it on the nail right there. Like you you have to you have to celebrate small victories. I mean, we want this grandiose boo, I've won the championship. No, how about celebrate, maybe first of all getting up, waking up, being having the ability to inhale oxygen, and then celebrating that you completed the day if you completed the day. Secondly, celebrate that you actually put out a project, and then celebrate that the project did better than all its predecessors, all the projects before that. I know the realest analogy to anything, especially when you're creating, is to, because I honestly, personally, I always say this, like, competition and creativity don't mix well. You can't
No,
be
no,
you can't be
no.
creative when you're trying to compete, because now you're you're creating to a different tune. You're creating with a different, with constrict with a marginal constriction to your ideas of your creation, because you're thinking of topping up something that is already. How about just create? And another
Exactly.
analogy.
And you're contributing towards somebody else's
Yeah,
lane, man.
exactly. And another thing I like to say, working or creating, or even in any field in life, if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, if you're a race car driver, I like swimming, because what swimming reminds
Right.
me sometimes is, if you don't move, then you could easily drown. If you don't, you if you're racing, if you're swimming and you're on a race, right? Whenever you put your head up and try to look for competition is when you're going to lose, because somebody's putting their
Right.
head in the water and just moving. They don't have time to see what other people are doing, which is also, it sounds not too smart, because you have to see what the climate, you have to see what, because you could you could be dancing on your own drum and lose the pulse of what's happening, because you're just stuck in your own world. Yeah,
Right.
it's good to know what's happening, but again, don't let it totally take control and rob your happiness and rob your childlike approach to how fun this we do this, because it's fun. This is fun. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be stressing. It's not supposed to be joy taking. It's fun. We're kids. We are kids. You sing, you entertain, you make people happy. You start doing that as a kid. You do it in front of your parents, you do it in front of your aunt. We are kids, literally big kids. We
Yep.
should never
Yep.
take anything serious. We should never take anything with a grain. We can never even take critique with a grain of salt, because really and truly, it's just their opinion. But to you, you just expose your childlike, your inner childlike in your music. Even if it's serious substance, even if it's conscious, you're just being a child. All of us artists just want to be liked.
So I can't even add anything to that, bro. That's
Yeah,
exactly it.
yeah. So yeah, never let comparison can rob your joy. Comparison and saying, like, I have 50 million, but that dude has 100 million. Dude, you're still a millionaire. 50 million. But compare, you won't enjoy it. I even said this on the last podcast, I think, with the lady, with art by Ali Go. I told her about where I think I read it, or I was told this. I can't remember, but it's pretty much a billionaire that sleeps on a $12,000 bed, having
Mm,
insomnia, and then a guy who's homeless sleeping in Skid Row on the streets, is having better sleep, a straight 12 hours sleep, while a dude who has a $12,000 bed cannot sleep because he's thinking about his competition, his other billionaires catching up with him. But you have a $12,000 bed, man. Like, don't let that. It's not happiness. It's not fulfillment.
Exactly, bro. You can have it all. You can have it all and still be like completely stressed out.
Yeah.
You're not making music from a fun point of view. You're not making music from a creative point of view. You're just making music to survive and I guess to win the game, right?
Right.
I don't know, bro. Like, I hope I never get there. I hope that never becomes like a thing that I have to like have to deal with. You know? Like the numbers. I mean, we've been doing this music thing before we got the numbers. We were doing this music thing when nobody was listening. Like when we're doing it, like straight up in the shower, in the houses, just making noise for our brothers and sisters and whatnot.
Right.
Like we've been doing it all our lives, man. Yeah. So I particularly hope for myself and like everybody else, like don't get caught up in that. Like don't get caught up in that competition. You know, like got more numbers.
You start losing when you do that. You start losing, meaning losing your happiness. You're losing your joy, losing the fun of it. You could easily burn yourself out like that. Yeah. Now we're getting to the point in this episode where we ask artists about works they've done and collaborations. First, with this portion of works and collaborations, Kapela, before even you talk about your works and collaboration, bro, this Vikky Secrets it's a masterpiece. It's a stroke of genius, bro. You did your thing on that. I'm so happy that you actually made it in Swahili. Most of it is in Swahili. You know. I like. Oh my God, I love the song arrangement in there. The choice of instruments that you used. The attention to detail when it comes to chord progressions and how the bridges you'd add in, bro. Like I would listen to this and I'm like, yeah, this guy's an artist. No, he's not just a rap singer, rapper. He's an artist, bro. This guy, Jesus Christ! Like I was listening to that thing, and you know when you listen to it with your eyes closed, you're just like, wow.
Bro.
So I had to give you your props on that. But now, as I've talked about my admiration for Vikky Secrets, let's talk about your works. How many projects do you have out there? And let's talk about that.
I'd say I have three now. I'd say I have three full-length projects. I put out a whole bunch of singles. Like I'd say all the way from like 2010 to 2013 when I put out Kick City. Like it was just single after single after single, and I usually drop like almost a single every week sometimes, you know. But my very first project was Kick City. I was very proud of that project simply because, I mean, we put a lot of work into that. And it was like, I remember it was like 19 songs, right? It was like 19 songs in that.
Yeah, I remember those days you just had to drop like 19, 20 songs. Yeah.
Cover for it. So that was like, particularly for me, like putting out like a first entire full-length project it was amazing to me, but it also taught me a lot that putting out music, like putting out a CD or whatever, is not gonna make people like fuck with it, like what it's done. And I think when everything happened and I came back home and like I got signed, then I got dropped, and you know I went through like by the time I was putting out the free Steph EP, like I had a lot to say. So like I just put out an EP of like it was like really really short songs, like maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and like all of them didn't have hooks. None of them had hooks. It was just me getting in the booth and just spitting it out, like introducing myself again, letting people know who I am, what I'm here to do, things I've gone through, what I like, what I don't like, and whatever. And I just put that out, 5 songs, and I said, hey, if people take it out, they're gonna take it. But Vikky Secrets, I'd say that's the culmination of doing music all my life, learning the ropes, and then now being in a position to be like, okay, now I want to put out a project, but I just don't want to throw it out there. I want to put it out like strategically. I want to get a team behind it. I want to see what I can do.
Right.
And shout out to Ivan OD, shout out to Emily Awino. Like, these are some of the people that really helped me, like, to really express myself and skills, brand. I'm grateful.
Yeah, man. Like I like your story. I like how Kick City just constructed everything that you are today, and how it gave you an appreciation of having a complete project, but also reminding you when you complete a project is when the work starts. That's when recording it and for sequencing it. That was it. Work. The work is when it's done. Now, how to push this and roll it out. And oh my God, you probably tired of doing things like this, just speaking to radio people, just do it all day. You repeat yourself so many times, and you could get burnt out and tired.
Yeah, bro. I'm personally, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm happy right now because we finally done with the media tour.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a rough 2-3 weeks, man. Like, every single day you're hitting the TV station, you're hitting the
Are they asking you to freestyle? Are they asking you to freestyle every time you go there?
Whatever, man. But I mean, it's part of the process. It's all part of the process. And now that I know what it takes, now the next time I do my next full-length project or whatever, I'm already ready. I already know okay, I'm gonna have rough 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I need to prepare myself mentally, just be hitting all this stuff, and then after that, it kind of relaxes a little bit and goes back to the performing, talking music now, and not necessarily going in front of dressing up and
hey,
This part of it is not my favorite, but
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm an artist too, and I've not done it like you, where I have to do nationwide radio tours. I would imagine media tours could be a drag, because personally, what I used, and I think they stopped doing the whole thing freestyle on the spot. How many 16s do you have to write for the different radio stations? They all your radio stations asking you to bust a 16. You are literally writing a whole album now. If you're doing 20 stations, Jesus.
Everybody's gonna want to freestyle
Because they don't want you to do anything that is on the album. They don't want you to do anything that's on the album too, because the fans will be like, no, that's on the album. They want something fresh, and they want even the DJ who's asking you for a freestyle to have their name incorporated in your writing. So in your freestyle, I'm like, no, that's a lot of work.
We're gonna have something to get it out here, man, because
yeah,
sometimes it just be too much, man, because you're like, yo, I got this entire album. I want to talk about this album. Let's talk about this album. And
freestyle.
Yeah, you talk about the album, but but I understand. It's the game. Yeah. They have an audience too, and their audience is expecting something. And if they kind of be feeding their audience, whatever artist come through, they have to spit some bars or whatever.
Absolutely.
That's what their audience is. So you have to. I guess you kind of have to weigh your options. You have to weigh your options, what's the most beneficial thing for you? Is it more beneficial for you to go there and talk this album and, drop a freestyle for a minute? Or is it more beneficial for you to just discount the entire thing? So, I mean, it's a personal decision for people. Sometimes I don't freestyle. Sometimes I'll go to a radio station or TV, and they'll be like, yo, bro, you have to spit something for us. And I'll be like, all right, pay me. Yeah. I'll be like, all right, man, you want me to perform that? Hey, man, you better cop up some dough.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm joking, of course. But
he's serious. He's very serious.
I don't always freestyle when I go to these stations or whatever, because at the end of the day, I don't just want to give you something off the top. I don't just want to give you something that I wrote just for this moment, because me, myself, and my team, and the producers, and everybody that's on the project has taken a lot of time and a lot of talent to put it in this one project, and we want you to get the project. We want you to understand what we're trying to do. So I want to keep my attention on that, and sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll just go and be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Especially if I go to a station where they haven't even done their research, they don't even know. They don't know how many songs you have on the album. They don't know that. If I find out that you don't know nothing, bruh, you gonna get the same attitude back. You just gonna get me being like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, man. I would imagine that's annoying. You have me here, and I would imagine stations like that would want gossip from you or want you to create a moment there, or maybe to just paint a weird image of you if they don't do the research, or even if they do over research, it could be also a problem. Because over research, maybe I'm not trying to talk about that right now. I want to talk about Vikky Secrets. You know, you asking me about my whole, why did you leave here, why you here, why you back in Kenya, why you, like, I would just imagine, like, personally I would imagine that I've never experienced, like I said, I've never experienced media because I've always stuck on the underground scene, so I'm a blog guy.
Oh, bro, you forget, bro. Hot 96, bro. You
Oh,
forgot.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You remember?
yeah, in KC, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like that was the very first radio interview that I had never been to, and it wasn't even mine. It was yours. I remember.
Yeah.
Because I think I was just shooting your vlog. I think I was just kind of like documenting like your journey to the studio and to the station.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd ever been on a radio station, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I had forgot about that. Actually, the DJ was my cousin. Oh, the radio personality. That's my family.
I remember, bro, and it was dope too. It was dope. Like
shout out to Paul. Shout out to Paul. He's a dope rapper. Dope. He's a DJ. He's a radio personality, and he's a rapper too. Wow. Huh. Kapela just took me back. We did shoot a vlog when we were creating Dark Knight. Yeah, we did go to the legendary. Oh, you want to hear some sad news? Chapman Studio was officially taken down. The legendary Chapman.
Oh, you're kidding me, bro. How?
Honestly,
How?
it was done. It was the owner sold that building, and he didn't want to do studio stuff anymore. So it was this was when I last recorded Young Elder. So this is 2017. About November is when the discontinued Chapman Studio. So it's not there. That's a legendary studio. Take 9 used to record there. Kendrick Lamar recorded there. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like it has history. There's history. We created Dark Knight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. Dark Knight. What else did we do there?
I can't believe it. Like honestly, it makes no sense. Like
You recorded some songs there too.
like all of them niggas didn't say nothing. Like they have so much history, bro. Like I remember just looking at the walls and how many people recorded there. Like
Yeah.
how many people, like how many celebrities and
Yeah,
like how many like ads and whatnot was like recorded there, bro.
it's no
And it
more.
was like they had like 3 studios within this one building, and every single studio was like huge.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. So that was sad, especially for people that had a chance to be in that. There's just a feel when you're in there. There's a feel,
Damn.
especially when you record in
People
there.
should go check out that vlog. Yo. People should go check out that vlog
Absolutely.
and see how dope it was, man.
I'll link it on this YouTube when it gets out. So we were talking about your works, how many projects you have. We're gonna talk about your process. What's your process when you're creating, like your writing process, everything? How do you work?
Well, it's kind of like evolved over the years. Back in the day, I first started just writing. Like I used to just write a whole lot. Like I didn't even need a beat. Like I would just write. And then when I got a beat, I tried to like fit what I wrote into the beat. And I like just going through like the motions, I discovered that was kind of limiting to me because once I got the beat, I'd have to try and like really like squeeze this thing in, and some words felt rushed, some things, So I kind of stopped like writing before like I had at least a beat or a melody or like some kind of tempo or something, right? So when it got to that stage, I started writing in studio, but I also discovered that writing in studio for me particularly, kind of, what's the word? Like whatever you get is the first draft, right? Whatever I give you is going to be the first draft. It's never going to be as good as something that like I can actually like reflect on, for like a couple of hours and just kind of see what flows and what doesn't. So then I started writing music. I started doing music, like writing music maybe 3-4 hours. I have like a song. Then I came later on to settle the idea of like once I have a beat and like I have a theme in my head, a concept in my head, like I just take my time with it. I take my time with it. Like I literally lock myself in a room somewhere and light up and just write slowly, like no rush, no whatever. And then when I'm done with the song, I go over it like 4, 5, 10 times. Okay, I like it. I let it settle. The next day when that like initial excitement is dead, now I come back to it and I listen to it again and I rap it again or I sing it again and I try to see if I still
Have the same
feel
feeling,
the way
yeah.
I feel, like if everything fits just right. And usually that's when I'll do the last edit. I'll take out some words, I'll replace some things, I'll realize, oh, this actually goes better over here, da 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 da. And yeah, like the song is done. Then the next thing is just to hit the studio, record. Of course, my producer, like, he gives me tips and he'll be go like, okay, I like that, but
Right.
maybe you could try to sing this like this, or maybe try this harmony over here, and we just build the song from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love your process. I mean, that's a process I recommend a lot of people to do is it's okay. Be your biggest critique. Don't just go off, ask yourself why. Why should I do this? Why? Why? Yeah.
Come back to it later and
Yeah.
find out that like it's actually okay. Because
Yeah.
once you put it out,
Yeah.
like if you're not comfortable with it, if you're not comfortable with the song, then whatever opinion that anybody else like has will sway you. It'll make
Yeah.
you feel some type of way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you have to make sure that you're comfortable with what you do, so that you trust yourself regardless of what happens.
Right. Right. Personally, like I found a technique that worked for me because I know I write really slow. I'm weird. I'm a person that has routines, and if I don't do that routine, it's not gonna happen. So I have to have my neon lights. I have to have my neon lights. I have to have my gin on deck. And by the way, I don't record and write at the same time. So if it's writing, it's writing, strictly writing. I'm not recording and writing at the same time because I'm gonna be sloppy. I'm gonna be drinking through my writing sessions or trying to capture emotions, and it's bad. It's toxic. It's not the most healthiest way to write.
Not everybody can do that Wayne, Jay-Z type
Right.
of vibe, like
Yeah.
like that. Not even
Yeah.
just Wayne and Jay-Z. What's his name? What's it? Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
Like Tory Lanez is the one who like just put the bit on. Like I can't
Nah,
do that.
I can't do that. Nah. So I sit down. I mean, now that I've been kind of like fake retired, but I still write. But I if I feel like I'm falling off with my writing, I stop using my phone and go back to the old school notebook, so I can there's that fulfillment of erasing stuff, adding in stuff, punching in rather than and when you reciting and then the light goes off of your phone, you're like, where was I? So like the book is way better because I'm holding it here and I can make my fonts big if I need them. Like, but yeah, my writing process. One thing I realized that saved me money because I had to do it out of necessity. I was broke and I could not afford a lot of studio time. Is making sure I just get my little money and buy a little setup for home so I could practice, so I don't waste time in the studio trying to get the perfect delivery. So what I used to do, and it worked like magic, is choose a day just to write. And I'm writing. Yes, that process is taken care of. The second process is the hardest process, which is delivery, which is something I like to like implement when I'm doing my music, is conviction. You have to believe my verse, and also spacing out and also making verses remembered. So sometimes I question my writing because of my delivery. Is like, when I was writing it like this, it sounded good in my head. Now that I'm in front of a microphone, because the mic won't lie. I can listen to you and know that you punched this in, you did this, you did this, you did this. The mic don't lie. Unless, but engineers are good, and they do so many things to vocal where you won't notice that it's been overly processed. So I try to like make sure my initial recording is perfect for me at least, and that's very subjective, So I'm going through my delivery, practicing before even I record, practice. So when I have it down packed, I want it to sound so good without even any compression, any EQ. I just want it to sound perfect raw. And when it sounds perfect raw, I know when they put those things on it, when they EQ it, when they put the seasoning on it, it's gonna be lit. Yeah. If it's perfect raw, you have something. If it's perfect raw, and another thing I learned is, now that's just the writing and recording. I record at home. And then the next step is the studio session. Now this is where I save money. I already have my recordings. I'm moving with my stems. So I have my track stems. Right. And what I do with producers, I don't use MP3s. I stem out every instrument. So when we're mixing, we can turn up instruments. We could do all the different tune-ups. We could make my voice become an instrument too. So that's why if people ask me, Strap, why does stuff sound good with this engineer? No, it's not sounding good. It's just because the beat maker, who is AO, sends me all the stems. And that changes. If I want the bass to knock more, if I want the bass line, if I want this guitar string to be a little sharper, if I want to switch it up on the engine, on the producer, and they were like, I didn't make that beat. I'm like, yeah, I'd switch it up on you. So that's a trick, guys.
That's what some of them bumps and bruises we're talking about.
Right. Like back then, people just get a beat MP3 and then you rap over it. No, it will sound so flat, and I mean, to you it may sound good, and engineers try their best, but when you want to make a rich, heavy sound, and then the trick is, now you're in that process. You already have your raws, your raw vocals. You already have your stems. Now let the engineer work. And in that process, as you hear, you could go in there and add an ad lib, whatever, and guess what? You could knock out like 4 songs within an hour. I mean, within 4 hours. Sorry, a song an hour, because you're saving money. And here, studio time is like $60 an hour. I don't. Not everybody has that money for, like, I want to have, I want my studios to be mixing sessions rather than. I know a lot of young artists make that mistake of writing in the studio. While you've paid for 8 hours of studio session, let's say $60 an hour, that's a lot of money. And now you're writing, and writing may, depending on who you are, if you're really writing something with substance, you're not going to take 15 minutes to complete a song. You're not going to take 30 minutes. You may have to, I don't know how people do it, because I know some people go, they already have their lyrics in their head, like Jay-Z said. If you're Jay-Z,
people be doing that Pac shit. Like, not everybody's Pac. Not everybody's Pac. Like, not everybody can get to the lab and in the process
exactly.
Of hours just.
Yeah. Exactly. If you Tupac, if you Jay-Z, go ahead.
By the time you're getting in there, you're good to go.
Yeah. Man. If you Tupac, if you Jay-Z, go ahead. Please be my guest. You go and record and write in the studio, because your gift, that's talent. If you're like Strap and you need to walk around, you need to like flick your pen or play with your pen, like just tinker around before an idea comes, you're gonna spend a lot of money in the studio and come up with a project that has been something forced, something just slapped together because you're worried about your pockets. But if you're rich, go ahead, be my guest. So that's a little bit of game I was giving from the writing process for people.
I'm gonna add something to that too. Like, for all the rappers that you want to do like collabos, like for everybody who wants to do collabos with everybody, and you book the studio session to do a collab with someone, let me help you out real quick. Like, stop worrying about like having them come and then vibe in the studio and create that. You're paying for that. Like, you're paying for that time. I'm not. Like, this is your song, right? If I'm having a collaboration with you, like, say for example, right, I'm gonna send you the beat first. I'm gonna let you vibe on it. Like, if I already have an idea or a theme or a concept, I'm gonna record that. Yeah. Then that's to you. Let you write. Let you be like comfortable with like whatever content you're coming with. By the time we get in the lab, it's just delivering on that. And I'll tell you, like, I'll give you another secret. Like, for engineers, they love it. They love it when you come in there and all you do is just wow them with everything that you're already ready to do. And it's like you're transferring all the pressure from yourself to the engineer. And you're being like, I'm already ready. I already got this. Yo, dude over here already ready. He already got his verse.
Absolutely.
Now that's on you. Now you do what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Truth is, for me personally, I find that it's more comfortable, it's easier, it's faster, it's cheaper. If you go ahead and prepare yourself, prepare the song, have the song ready, have like you say, like, it's even better when you have all the stems and you already have even including your vocals. But if you're like me who doesn't have like a studio setup in your house, then you better go to the studio with everything already ready. Like, and I'm talking like even think out your ad libs and think out everything, so that by the time you get in there, you just do what it do. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just switching cameras right now. Had to switch cameras on you. There we go.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, where'd you go, man?
I'm still here, but yeah, like you said it right there. Like, you know what? I've not collaborated with so many people, but I could imagine how frustrating it could be for an engineer working with people that are ill prepared, you know, and wanting him to change water into wine type of situation, or telling them, okay, you jump on the song next, because I know for a fact there has to be an insecure artist going in there trying to get the engineer's approval. So do you think this song is cool? Like, dog, like, you think it's good? Should I rap like this? I'm like, you paying for this? Yeah, it's cool.
I'm telling you, like, bro, I go through that even till this day, bro. I still go through that. Like, I don't know, like, I have this thing, like, you gotta trust yourself, man. You gotta trust yourself. Because, I don't know, like, and I think, like, it was an evolutionary process. I don't think I just arrived here, like, just like that, but I had to remind myself that, like, yo, that feeling that you had when you first wrote that song, like when you wrote that song and you listen to it like 2, 3 days, 4 days later, and you still like that song, and you still trusted that song, you have to trust that song till the end of the world. Like, that's your word. Literally, that's your word, right?
Yeah.
You gotta trust your word. You gotta trust your word with everything you got. And if you felt like that when you said it, then you felt like that when you said it. Now, if you said some shit that, you know, wasn't politically correct or whatever, and you need to deal with that, then deal with that when you need to deal with that.
Right.
But you gotta trust your word. You gotta trust your pen, man. Like,
yeah.
You can't be writing stuff and then getting in the studio and like, I personally, I don't like it. I don't like it, and this is just me. I don't like it when artists send me songs and they go like, bro, I'd like your feedback on it. I know I did that. I know I did that in my career. I know I did that too. I know I'm guilty of that. But you can't do that. Like, you can't place how you feel about your own creativity in somebody else's hands.
Absolutely. You cannot do that.
Break you. They can very easy. Artists, we sensitive. Like, we sensitive.
Very, yeah.
Like, somebody can break you apart. Like, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't trust what you wrote, if you don't trust what you're doing, man, like, then you ain't got no business being it.
Yeah.
You gotta trust yourself. Trust yourself and just go with it. No matter what, man. Just do the thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's that famous like picture of tears and laughters of a clown, you know, or like just the entertainer, like how you're always smiling, but your ego is very fragile, because you could be, you know, like anything can just remind you, like, bruh, you could be from like, I'm the greatest to, dog, I don't even know if I'm good. Or all these fans just lying to me. And then you have these tricks in your mind, these mind playing tricks on you, concept happening in your head. Like, but yeah. But like, you know, it happens to all the best of us, where we have something that they call the imposter syndrome, where you feel like you don't deserve it, where you feel like I'm not even that good, or these people are gassing me up type of thing, because it's just a human nature type of thing. You could be well prepared, and even not only artists, even at work, some people that are doctors, that surgery people, that get to like, am I really a good surgeon? Do I really know what I'm talking about? Especially when one thing happens that, you know, maybe somebody passes away on your surgery bed. You start questioning your ability of doing something. Well, let's say you've been selling good on your with your music, and then finally everyone will have that dip. You know, it's happened to the best of us, you know, from 50 Cent being that main guy in the 2000s to now. You have to reinvent yourself and do something else, right? I mean, not to say you could stay in the music industry, but you always have to reinvent yourself, right? And that's a good approach to understanding that, you know, your fan base grows up, you know. And maybe if I was talking about, killing and shooting, people now in their 50s, now their grandparents. I'm not trying to listen to that stuff anymore.
We're not still there.
Exactly. So if you're a teenage artist and you're talking about that stuff, and then your fan base grows up, you're 30 now, you become Bow Wow. And it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's very normal. It's life. Right. It's the course of life. But the power is reinventing yourself and letting yourself know, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be here. Kapela, you deserve all the greatness that is coming out of Vikky Secret. You deserve that. But a lot of artists, even big ones, really the most talented people are the most insecure people about their craft. They are the most uncertain people about their craft. They're talented. You're like, this dude plays on multiple instruments, but in somewhere they have that thing of like, am I really that good? Because in their mind, they know how great they are. And in their mind, they are like Pac-Man being chased by ghosts. They're either chasing Prince, they're chasing Michael Jackson, but you're who you are. Celebrate yourself and appreciate yourself. You deserve it. And that's one thing I don't really have. I've never really reached a high like that. I've never been successful. I mean, I'm fulfilled, but I'm not like quintessential successful, right? I'm not getting my bills paid from my art as of yet. But I can understand somebody that is successful feeling that they don't deserve it because they know people that are better than them. It's like even the same thing as basketball players. There are people in the NBA, right? But in their neighborhood, they know someone who is way better than them that never made it there. So in their head, they have that. They're still insecure because when they go back home, they're not the man. They always say, remember in high school when this dude was busting your ass, putting all them points on you? Because in their head, life planned out for you to be who you are. And I know it's the same story in everything, in all the professions. Very successful people, very people that have the ability to do something feeling that they don't have enough. But remember, you're enough. And that's what I want to tell artists. You're enough. You deserve whatever you have, you deserve it. It's not by accident. It's not by accident. It's not by accident. Going on to from how you create, who are your favorite people to collaborate with? Studio collaborations, people that you've worked with, like, yo, you know what? You've worked with some people. You worked with Kylagraph Jones. You've worked with Sauti Soul. You've worked with King Kaka.
Yeah.
Have you worked with Nonini?
No. Not yet.
How big is she? Still big?
Yeah.
Is still a big artist?
He actually came back into the limelight not too long ago. There's a kind of like an interview, biographical type of show, like right now, like on YouTube. Check it out. It's called The Playhouse. From Singing the Airwaves. Shout out to A-Star for that because we're really enjoying that content. So basically what he's been doing is he's been going to kind of like the OGs, the pioneers, the music industry in Kenya, and basically just interviewing them and detailing their entire story from like how they started to how like when they made it and how big they were, whatever. So like Nonini's CTA was so powerful, bro. It's such a good story. And he was just kind of like detailing all the things that they've achieved over the years with Kali Records, that's Joe Akali and
Joe Akali. Oh, Joe Akali, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, like
pioneers, man.
This thing that we want to do, it's been done before. Like no matter where you think you are, like it's been done before, and there's ways, like the things you can learn from them, right?
Yeah.
So with that CPA, like Nonini, like kind of like sprung back into like the conversation because everybody was like, whoa, especially the kids today. Was like, you mean to tell me like the Kenyan music industry used to be like this? You mean to tell me like you guys were touring and doing tours in the States and whatever? And this is back to 2005, 2000.
I remember it like yes. I remember. And before the Nonini generation, I remember the Gopa DJs were touring heavy when they had people like Nameless.
Around the same time, bro. It was like the same.
Red Sun.
Like the same era because Gopa DJs like first came out and they were like so powerful.
2001, right? 2000.
Yeah. And then like Khalif Records started coming out, and
Khalif, yeah.
Mimi and
Claymo, yeah.
them together started Khalif Records, and they actually started it to compete with Ogopa.
Yeah.
And like, bro, there's so much history. There's so much history when it comes to music.
They had bangers. I remember, I think one of Kenya's version of Soulja Slim, Kenya's version of Tupac was Issa, because he was not missing, and then he got the car accident. Because I remember like he was like Ogopa DJ's next. He was not missing. Every song he was putting out was like fire.
Kid, but like you would hear everywhere you'd hear about Issa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the hood was proud. Like I'll tell you the truth. Like I don't think that many people know me in my little area. Like I have a few people. Like a few people will be like, that's Steph. You know, like sometimes I'll walk outside and they'll be like, oh, that's Steph. But back in the day, we used to have that, like that pride. You know what I'm saying? Like saying I'm from South Sea or I'm from Mom or more. I'm like, you know, like guys used to rep their hoods, like really rep their hoods, because like it was a thing. You know, it was a thing and it was new, and everybody wanted their hood to like be to the top. You know, like we're running this. We this, we that. But bro, I'm telling you, there's so much rich history, and for me personally, like if there's something that I can do. There's something I could do like for the game, like I could to the game is bring back that love. It's just bring back that love for like your own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not just like your own as in Kenyan artist, but your own as in like your Nairobi artist, your Mombasa artist, your artist.
Yeah.
And then even go even more local than that, your Kasarani artist, your Oja artist, your Buruburu, your whatever.
Yeah.
I'd love to bring that back because, like, honestly, man, it made people feel like stars in their own hood. Like, you could go to a barbershop and, get cut for nothing just because you're there, and like a whole crowd will pop up just to see you. You know what I'm saying? Sign some autographs, whatever. Man,
that's dope. Those are good days, man. And we were talking about your favorite collab with.
So let's see. Honestly, I'll say this, and I'm not trying to sound politically correct or anything, but like I love every single collaboration I've ever done.
Okay.
Because like I never agree to something if I think it's just gonna be like another thing. Right. Like I never agree to do a song with another song. Like every rapper that I've ever the same song with, like I love what they bring to the table. Right. It's not always bars. I'm not always doing like collabs with people who just have bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I like bringing different elements. Right. Like one of my latest, in fact, my latest collaboration was on a song called Wereningani, and it features Carm Cardinali, one of the illest rappers in Kenya. Easy, ask anybody, they'll tell you. Shout out to you, Carm. But we wanted to bring in two different elements. Now, like when you hear me speak, like a lot of Kenyans, when they hear me speak, automatically they assume like, this guy must be like, one of those guys from like the suburbs, and he's a posh guy, like must be whatever. And it keeps like, it's something that's kind of like followed me throughout my entire like my career in Kenya. So like I wanted to play off of that, I wanted to play off the fact that okay, so these guys think like I'm really like this, whatever. Okay, let me rap, let me do something about like a guy who's from like the suburbs finding himself in the wrong part of town, right? And the only way I could really like bring that full circle was to have somebody from the wrong part of town, like being now like if I'm the protagonist, they're the antagonist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it came out beautifully. It came out beautifully because it just played off both sides of both worlds. And sometimes I do that with all the collaborations. Like I'll go work with someone that I know they bring like a different element. Because there's no point for you like, I don't like this. I have to say this. I can't stand rappers who do collaborations and they're two pieces in the same pot. Like the first verse sounds exactly like the second verse, and it's two completely different rappers. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's the cadence you're going with. Oh, that's the flow you're going with. I bet. Now let me compliment you. That's what they call it. They call it compliment. Let me compliment what you said, and just let me just follow your flow. I'm gonna just follow your flow, your cadence, and everything. And then you hear a song and you're like, are we in verse 2 already? Like, I thought this was a collabo. I thought it was another nigga on this joint. It turns out it's two different people, but they're doing the same thing. And personally, I don't find that very appealing to me.
Right.
I like it when somebody brings something different from what I'm bringing to the table. Like if somebody's bringing like a whole bunch of bars, man, I'm probably gonna sing. I'm probably gonna sing just to give the song a different flavor, right?
Absolutely.
So for me, collaborations, I'd say Scar was a pretty good one. Another one that I did that kind of flew under the radar for a little bit was one with this guy called Christoph. He did because an ensemble. Like I think I had one of my best verses in that. I don't think people caught it, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We just gonna let that slide.
Well, you're not letting it slide. You're talking about it right now, so they're gonna go back to it. They're gonna go back to it and listen to it. So let's not let that slide, guys. Let's not sleep on that verse. Everybody who's listening, let's go check that verse out and let's give it its flowers.
Man,
let's give it its flowers.
I think I really went hard on that, but honestly, every single collab I've ever done, ever done, like even if the man with Blanco and I've done like a whole bunch of like R&B type of collabs. Shout out to Vikky, shout out to Guru.
Yeah.
Man, like, bro, and I just did another one with this girl called, she goes by Halle Berry. Barrow, not Halle Berry, but Halle Berry.
I like that flip. I like that switch. I like that flip.
Yeah, man. So every single collab that I've ever done meant something. It meant something. Like I went into it because I liked what we were gonna come out with it.
Yeah. So we're getting to the last part of the episode. So we're gonna talk about our guest here in like your personality type of thing, right? It's more like a little intrusive, but not too much. We're not going to go too deep into it. So, and you could deflect if you don't want to answer any question. So now we're going to talk about the guest's personal ideology in life. When I ask a question like that, pretty much I mean, what are the things, or what philosophical or what ideology do you use to helps you go through the day? Like personally, I'll use myself as an example to explain that better. I use the ideology open to anything, attached to nothing. That helps me be at peace. Meaning that I want to learn, I want to know, I want to see, I want to observe, I'm open to everything. I'm not going to say that's not for me, but I'm attached to nothing, meaning I know life is about ebbs and flows. It's about things change. So don't be comfortable with change. Like right now we're in this COVID-19 thing. Am I gonna sulk about it saying that okay, my 5-year plan has been messed up because this is gonna set us back? No, I'm gonna change. So that's my ideology, and it helps me sleep well at night knowing that I'm open to anything, but I'm attached to nothing. So,
bro, I should probably adopt that one. That's actually really powerful, bro.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. Before I had this ideology, I used to hold on grudges. I used to have attachment issues, like detachment. Like if I have something that's worked for me and having to leave that was always hard for me, And I don't know if it's attachment issues, but I just hold things dear. But now I know that, what? Even my own life is not promised. There's nothing is promised. Like, why am I even holding this material thing so dear when even I don't control my life?
Right.
I'm depending on air. I'm depending on oxygen. I'm depending on my eyes to see stuff. So I have to be attached to nothing but open to everything. I think it took away the holding of grudges, because maybe my parents or my girl didn't hit me up at the exact time I wanted her to hit me up. She took an extra 1 hour. Now I'm like holding a grudge and I want to be an asshole. No, I can't be doing that. Why am I attached to that grudge? Why am I even attached to that feeling? What if it was stuck somewhere? What if they had so that's why I'm attached to nothing. So
bro, that's really dope, man. Like I'll tell you, like I wish like I was thinking like that, but to me, I think I always just try to like I try to create balance. I think for me, I always try to create balance. Like and in any particular moment, like you have a choice to go one way or another, right? So I always try to find the balance in between. Like, I always try to like I believe a lot. Okay, I know I'm rambling, but let me put this in the right way, right? Like I believe in karma. I believe in karma quite a lot. But I don't want to say like I believe in karma so much that I live my life according to the right? Because I still have flaws. I still fuck up a lot, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, if I believe that every single fuck up that I ever like, that I ever do is gonna come back to haunt me in some way, like I wouldn't be able to live life, right? So I always try to find some kind of balance of where I accept that there is going to be good in every evil and there's always going to be good. So like whatever situations I'm going through, no matter how negative it is, I always believe that it's gonna be good in it. No matter how good things are going, I'm always like, okay, now I'm waiting for this. Like I'm waiting for this. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, it helps me like center myself. It helps me ground myself in knowing like not everything can be one way or the other, right? Say for example, this whole topic, right? Bro, when you talk about 5 year plan, when you talk about like plans that we had, like Vikky Secrets was actually supposed to come out like as part of a double album, right? We had plans, bro. We had like, and I think me and you have had this conversation, like
Right.
off like
Yeah.
we had plans, we had corporates behind this thing, we had we had an entire plan, like a really long, like 40, 50 page plan. Like, it was an entire, like, PowerPoint presentation I could show you or whatever.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, everything shut down. Like, there's no more concerts, there's no more, like, public gatherings of any kind. Like, the clubs are shut down, everything stopped. And you're like, but I have this double album that I'm ready to release. Like, what am I gonna do with this? And just that, like, if I was in your kind of philosophical mind, I would have probably switched easier, and I would have probably been like, okay, this is changing. I'm not attached to that whole plan or whatever. Let me see what I can do. But for us, it took us a while. It took us a while because we didn't want to give up the plan. It took us too long to prepare that plan. And it's just not me. Like, there's a lot of people to take care of. Like, the album has like 8 producers. You know, nobody wanted to let go of the plan. So we tried to see how we could, work it. We tried to still get people, and nothing was working. And at some point, we just had to be like you and just be like, okay, so things are changing. Now we have to kind of figure out how we're going to do what we need to do. And that comes back to my whole idea of like things can be very negative, but there's always a positive in it. Like, yeah, it's so negative that, like all the clubs, whatever, grounds, everything is closed. But at the same time, there's so much demand for like digital content now. There's so much demand for music. There's so much demand for music videos, movies, whatever. And there's never been a better time to put out a body of work or something that you've been working on for a long time that is going to need people's attention more than the usual 5 seconds that you get on a video or whatever. Like, this is now the time to put out like some of those longer projects, some of those like content, like some of that material that you've been working on for so long and you never knew how you were going to put it out because people digested it very small little bits.
Right.
Now you have the arena to just basically display all your stuff. So I mean, there's always good in every negative, and there's always negative in every good. So that's been my philosophy. But quite honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I really like what you just said there. Like, I really like it. It just hit. Like, open to everything, attached to nothing. So
Yeah.
when things go wrong, I'll just be like, oh, things have changed. Now I have to change for something.
Yeah.
I
Human
really
beings.
like that, bro.
Yeah. As human beings, we are very resilient. When one lane closes,
Oh,
not like
that's a
when
really
one.
dope.
Yeah, we are very resilient. When one lane closes, 10 lanes open. So you should never look at roadblocks. Look at a chance for you to sit down and be more creative, to find ways to even surpass stuff. Because now you have a you have a lesson learned right there. You have a lesson learned knowing that your plan has to also be pandemic proof. Now, next thing, it could also be drought proof, or it has to be, electricity proof. Imagine if there's no electricity. How about internet proof? That's another one. If you're a genius, you could think of a way to have a plan that is internet proof in case the world has no internet. Is your business going to sustain? I mean, we are seeing right now the death of brick and mortar here in America, where stores are closing and everything is being sold online. But what if the online thing
Right.
is not there? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna go back to extraterrestrial radio? What are we gonna do? We're gonna go back to television. What are we doing? So this is the best time. If you're a religious person, maybe you say this is the time God wants you to sit down and think, because you've been just moving in autopilot, thinking life is sweet. Stuff is just autopilot. Like, you have your phone, it becomes routine, and when it becomes a routine, you're not even thinking about it because it's now muscle and brain memory. Everything you're doing is just based off what you've been doing yesterday, the day before, last week, last year, and you won't have exponential growth like that. I mean, there will be growth for a thinker. A thinker will always grow because a thinker will always question why they do stuff. Why am I doing this? Why do I even have my hat to the back? Why? And then
Right.
you learn that maybe that's my mannerism. Maybe because I don't have a haircut. Maybe because, question everything, and you'll find
Right.
answers for any situation that you're put in. Because realistically, an artist like yourself, I tend to also think of myself like that too. I'm a creator. Like, I'll create through anything. Just give me a pen and paper. Give me anything. I'll create. Give me any media, any medium. I'll create something.
Right.
Like, it's not like I cannot be attached to the microphone. This is the only way I can create. But this is the only thing this is my, if it's taken away from you, people go through depression. People go through, like, they think life is ended. Like, and it's not funny because I know some artists are struggling right now because they cannot perform, and that's how they feed their family. And it's desperate times. Guess
That's
what?
exactly it.
Guess what? Tory Lanez is doing this life thing. He found another lane. No pun intended. you know, we are, human beings are very resilient, bro. People have seen, our ancestors have seen wild wars, tribal wars, genocide, slavery. They've seen things. People have seen things. And I'm not saying, I'm not being insensitive for anybody who's going through, because I have a very soft spot for people that are going through mental health, having challenges with mental health right now, especially during this time, because it's real. Here in America, I don't know about Kenya, but here in America, suicide rates are high, domestic violence is high, child abuse is high, because people, the world just, the earth just shook us up and reminded us, hey, you live on my land. You don't own this stuff. You could pretend that you buy a house, you buy a plot. You don't own it. The world, earth owns itself. You don't own shit. You're just born out of your mom's womb with nothing, and that's how you're gonna go back. I'm being morbid. I'm being morbid and serious. People don't like talking about death, but that we are gonna go back the same way we came, with nothing.
Right.
So why you attached to stuff?
Think about it like that. But in the sense that, like, you came in this world, the only thing, like, metaphorically speaking, even though, like, I know it's not true for everybody, but the only things you came in this world were the things that you have physically on, like literally, your hands,
Yeah.
body, your mind. That's
Mhm.
it. Like, that's how you came, and that's how you gonna go back.
Exactly.
So, like, let all these material things and to let all this, like, situations and whatever control, like, how
Yeah.
your thought process, let your determine your value,
Yeah.
determine how you see yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It shouldn't be.
this is exactly what the earth did. Like, the earth took us, like, and just
Shook us, and it had to remind us, like, yo, I can create diseases that will come and erase a whole bunch of people. And it did that. You have to remind us that you're not in control. You're not driving this bus. Somebody else is. And then also, don't get me wrong, because I also could be misunderstood. Please plan. I'm not saying don't plan. Don't be attached to a plan and an organization because life changes. Plan. But when your plan doesn't go as you've planned, it's not the end all be all. It's just the earth, the ecosystem, whatever you think is running everything. That they're telling you that your plan wasn't solid enough. You didn't think about it too much. You didn't think about other elements of the world. You didn't think about disease. You didn't think about, all these other things that come and stop our plans. Weather stops our plans. People want to go outside to the park. It rains. You stay inside. Then what are you going to do inside? You're going to find something to do inside. That's the same approach I'm approaching everything, When this lane is closed, 10 lanes open up. Fellas that are to all my gallus, like the Jamaicans say, if one chick says no, 20 other chicks will say yes. There's always another lane open. Don't be attached to that. No, don't be attached to that. No, where you go home and look at yourself like. I was talking to the gallus. I had to talk to the gallus because the gallus they don't want to hear my morbid stuff talking about death. Let me talk to that. Let me talk to the gallus, the gal them sugar men. The other guys, other guys that are out here, single and single out here trying to find purpose. If one girl says no, guess what? 20 other girls gonna say yes. That's my analogy to the gallus. For the philosophers, if it rains outside, you stay inside, you find something to do. Your plans don't have to be stopped where it's the weather stopped my plans. No. You're a force. You're a force. You're a very resilient group of people. We've been in this earth for thousands and thousands of years, and we've seen climate change. We've seen so much. We're not going to get extinct that fast, but just live life. Be happy, man. Enjoy it. What we're doing, especially creators, we are being kids. Enjoy it. Don't take anything too serious. And I'm talking to other people. I'm also talking to myself. Like you were saying, I have to remind myself. Don't take it too serious. You're having fun. You're not somewhere working for another person. You're working for yourself. You're having fun. And that's something we got to remind. Like, you're having fun. And some people get paid for it. Like you, Kapela. You get paid to have fun. You get paid to have fun. And you're immortalized.
I would like them to pay me some more, especially right now, man.
So you can have more fun. Oh, man. All right, we back recording. We had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we back. So, Steph. See, I just got too comfortable. I forgot that we were in interview, so I was just candidly calling your name out.
Man,
we go way back. Okay, I need to be in my host mode, like professional. But sometimes you gotta do it for the one time and just be talk to your homie like your homies, right? But so we talked about the philosophy, personal ideology, and what you're implementing in your life to keep your mind, body, and soul intact. We'll talk about this is a quick question, maybe one word or 2-word answer. What was the last book that you read?
Think and Grow Rich.
Okay. Do you recommend that to the listenership?
I do. I will say this though, it's not like a regular book. It's more like a textbook. So like you can't just read it you can't read it from cover to cover and then be like, okay, now I'm putting the book down, now I'm gonna go apply. You kind of like have to apply it to go along. Like I remember the first place that I got stuck at, and when I truly realized that it was a textbook was when there's a chapter that they're talking about like when to bring your desire to life, right? And basically they're talking about like your mastermind, your group, your team, members or whatever, right? And it said like you guys had to be like, you have to be like in perfect harmony. You have to like, you guys have to have the same goal. You have to have the same objectives. You guys have to be separate minds operating as one, going after the same goal.
Yeah.
And like I remember, like, at the time I was reading that, I like we had like a little bit of friction like in my team and whatnot. Like I asked what we wanted to do. This was during the planning stage and all that. And I remember feeling so. I was starting to feel like disconnected with my people and whatnot. And for some reason, I couldn't keep reading the book because every other, like, whatever advice comes after that is on condition that you already have this thing set up. Like, you already have your team and everybody within the team is on the same objective. So if I didn't have that at all, like, there's no need to keep reading the book.
Right.
So it hit me like it's one of those books that, you want to read it and you want to take as much information in, but it's not something that you just read. It's like a syllabus, right? Like even if I give you a textbook, like it's full, I'm not expecting you to read the entire book and then fly slowly, right? The teacher is teaching you like chapter after chapter after chapter, and you're just moving along with it.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely recommend it, but only if you're ready to apply what it says. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah. Yeah.
The text.
Yeah. So it's pretty much you have to approach it like chapter based, like chapter. This chapter here, we're gonna. It's not
one thing at a time. And make sure make sure you're doing whatever like you just read before.
Yeah, it's not like very comprehensive, like where you have to just if you read it all will make sense at the end. No, you have to. Some of these ideas will disappear as you keep on going. All right. So what was the last? I mean, you could say Vikky Secret. What's the last album you listened to? From first song to last, not skipping.
Funny enough, the last album I listened to was I went back and listened to Drake Take Care. That was actually like, was that yesterday? Like I was listening to that when I was like doing my own my little workout, because a part of me like realized that like Vikky Secrets was a first in so many ways. Like for me personally, because it was my debut album. And then I decided to go do what I was used to do first, which was like singing more than rapping. And on top of that, I decided to like almost try to do it in a way that kind of like exemplified when that switch happened for me, right? When that switch happened for me, when I started like singing and doing that stuff, it happened with Drake's album, Take Care.
Yeah.
So like I already had it in the laptop, and I was like, oh. For the workout today, let me just go listen to Take Care. And it's funny that my album, well, sonically speaking, it don't sound the same, but there are a lot of similar traits. And I didn't listen to Take Care when making this album at all. Like I haven't listened to Take Care. I haven't listened to that album like 5 years until.
Right.
It wasn't a thing that influenced, but it was funny to realize that they use some of the same concepts we use, like trying to have like a gap in the album where like the last song streams into the next song, and you can't really where one ended in the next.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to see like, oh man, Drake did that in Take Care. I remember. It is like, oh, and that was the first time you decided to start doing it. So and for some reason, like as much as my first album, and it's a culmination of everything I've been through this day, I kind of like took it back. I kind of like took everything back and just like said, like for my first outing, let me come out the same way I came out when I first started doing it.
Okay. Take Care is a masterpiece. I think arguably Drake's best work. Probably.
I loved it. Like,
but I don't know. For Nothing Was the Same to me. Still my favorite Drake's album. I don't know, but to everyone on their list, they Take Care is usually number one, and So Far Gone, I think, is number two. So Far
Take Care
Gone
is not my favorite album, Drake, not at all. But like, if anything, like I listened to a lot. When I listened to it yesterday, I was like, you know what, Drake's really strong, man.
Yeah.
Like as an artist, even his voice and his delivery and his presence, like on the mic, like it's grown leaps and bounds, bro. Like
Yeah.
Drake of Take Care, like I don't care what people say. Like people still say like Take Care was like Drake's best outing, but for me, I'm like, I mean, he was good. He was still Drake. He was still killing them. Like he was dropping bars. He was still singing. But I don't think he was as good as he is now. You know, he's grown.
Yeah. I mean, I love I love Dark Days. Is it Dark Days? The one that he just put out.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell you this. My favorite song and I'm weird. I'm different from other people. Other people like the Dark Lane demo tapes that he put out. That Deep Pockets for some reason talks to me in a weird way. Like Drake has very personable verses. He's not flossing, but he has a subtle flex, and you know he's talking expensive stuff, and you know you could he there's a gift about being an actor and being a shapeshifter. As an actor, you're switching all the time roles. Drake he paints that picture for you like nobody else can. Whether it's being sensitive, whether it's him venting about something, whether it's him flossing and flexing on how much money he has, and he calls his house the embassy, like, or you know, and then talk about his plane, like, oh, his new jet, his jet that he has. Oh my gosh! Like I listened to Deep Pockets, and I think and I'm paraphrasing his verse. I don't know it word for word, Byron, but there's a line saying, "Working on my business while minding my business." That's a Drake. It's simple. It's like simple, but I don't know why that resonates with me because I'm in that same. I'm working on my own stuff, minding my own stuff. You know, I'm working on my own. It's the same thing. I'm doing my own thing while minding my own thing. Yeah, I'm working on my own stuff while minding on my own stuff. I mean, it sounds stupid. It's just stupid smart. Like it's that's Drake, bro. The whole like when he got out the gate like that, like he caught my attention like this. Heard him on Best I Ever Had. No. Yeah, he says
Drake's personal.
He says weird lines like they just catch you and like okay.
I think Drake's secret. And like kind of like I think something that I adopted into my own stuff is he's very clever with his lines, but he's not trying to be your consensual. Yeah. Good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not trying to come at you with the dopest slang in the hood. Like he's not trying to sound hard. He's saying things that anybody can understand. Using language that anybody can understand, but in the most clever way that you can ever hear it. Yeah. And I think that's something that I approach my music the same kind of like.
Yeah. Some of the simplest and silliest metaphors ring the loudest. And like I remember every girl in the world. He said fuck every girl in the world, but you remember that Young Money song, and he was like, I like girls. You like girls like I do. Let's be honest. I thought about it. This MFR like, and I'm like that lingered. Like he had the most recognizable verse on that song, even though people were like, I like Lil Wayne's. I like that long hair, thick red bone, open up, like, yeah, that was Lil Wayne at Lil Wayne's peak, but Drake stood out with that, let's be honest, and he had to wait to drag it in, let's be honest, so you could feel it, so it could really hit, like, let's be honest, like, if you just said it fast, you're like, maybe I could have skipped, let's be honest, and his vocal inflections.
Performing that, everybody go crazy. Like the whole crowd goes like, when he gets there, like, let me.
You like girls like I do. Do you like girls like I do? Like, let's be honest. But that's Drake, man. Like you said, it's the simplest things, but he knows how to find complex. He knows how to stimulate your mind through complex thought in very simple wording. So he lets your mind complete the other picture. He paints half of it, and then your mind can complete the whole picture. And you'll be like, oh, you're a genius. You didn't have to do it all for me. Because I hate a rapper that is like, go back, listen to that. I said, but, and then he breaks it down for you. The same way I don't like it when rappers put out a song and put out their lyrics. I'm like, bro, it's music. It's not reading. It's music. If I don't get it, I missed it. It's not for me. But I know there was rappers like, yo, let me put out my lyrics out there because to show you that I'm good at rapping.
Right, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those. But for me, I only do that because, like,
oh my bad. I was not nothing against it, but for me, I love closing my eyes and listening, and that's why I like Drake. He lets me figure it out. Like maybe it's simple wording, and maybe the complex rapper has to put out the lyrics for you to read and say, "Oh, that's fire."
It's all that. It's all that, man.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, like, man, we are witnessing greatness, and we're not maybe appreciating the way we have to appreciate it, like with artists like Drake. And he has been on the helm of things since 2009, and
Bro,
2020.
can you imagine?
You know, it's 11 years.
Imagine, like,
it's not missed.
11-year run, top, never laid off, like never took a half step, never went like, you know what, like I'm a.
He averages like 10 hits a year. He has like 10 big hits a year, at least. I may be exaggerating, but it's possible.
10 hits per year for 10 years plus.
Yes.
Anybody else?
He probably has the most number ones. He probably has the most number ones out there, bro. Yeah.
Oh, he does. I'm sure.
He probably like this guy. We are not appreciating it. I don't know why we are not appreciating.
More than the Beatles.
Yeah, like, yeah. I don't know if we'll ever see something like this again, and I don't think people are really taking the time back to see the longevity, because as artists such as yourself and me, I think we get to a point where we respect an artist. I don't care about your art, but I care about how long you've been doing it, and I'm still seeing you relevant. Because I know a lot of talented people that gas out. They're like, oh, you know what, Deuces, this industry is not for me, or I don't have the mental fortitude or the mental bandwidth to just keep on doing the same thing over and over, kissing these executives' asses, having to, reach out there and looking for crowdsourcing funds. That stuff could be stressful. Trying to look for funds for every project, trying to look for sponsors, and looking for all these different things, negotiating through deals, getting ripped off by people through your masters, your publishing, and it's not a good mental health business. It's not good for your mental health. But I see a person at the top for 11 years.
Like, yo, when you're a celebrity or when you're a musician, you've opened yourself up to the world, and that just means that, like whatever comes your way, you gotta deal with it because you asked for this. No, bro, I didn't ask for that. Like, I just wanted to make some music. Yeah. And I wanted you to enjoy it. At no point whatsoever did I say, like, yeah, I'm welcoming all this shit that comes with it. Right. But you gotta throw an extra layer of skin. You gotta be a little tougher, and we also have to be a little sympathetic to people who don't. Because it doesn't mean they're weak. It just means that, like, you have no idea what they go through. Like, they could have gone through traumatic shit.
Yeah.
Just like even be able to give you that music. So like I think we're at a good time now for people to really reflect like what they actually want from their entertainers, especially now that everybody's home.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like now that everybody's just home, it's a good time for everyone to reflect and just think about like what that's.
Yeah. Man, salute to that man, Drake, man. Salute to any artist that is at their top and they're still doing what they have to do regardless. I hate it when, we say this is a young man's game. Nah, man, I've seen 50-year-olds like Jay-Z still putting up numbers. I'm seeing, like it's not really a young man's game. It's a talented man's game. It's a gifted.
That's a whole discussion by itself, bro. I have points for that. That's a whole topic. That's a whole another day, bro.
Yeah.
Leave me. That's another topic. Topic.
We'll talk about that later. But okay, in your downtime during this quarantine and how life has changed, what have you been doing? What have you been working on?
Well, for me, life has been pretty much like working around Vikky Secrets, and like about dropping the album. Like life is honestly that's what it's been about. Since the album dropped, like that was like 2 weeks ago, it's pretty much been the same. Like doing the music tour. Like my entire life has been pretty much Vikky Secrets. I will say this that like it did knock me a whole like just being home all the time kind of like started getting to me a little bit. It's just not fun.
Yeah.
It's just not fun. Like doing the same thing over and over and every day the same thing. And like I don't know. Like it hasn't been, excuse me, it hasn't been the best time, but it also hasn't been the worst. Like it's taken me some time to reflect on myself and some of the things that I want. Also, like I know spending a lot of time at home because
Yeah.
kind of like rediscover why you guys fell in love, and
Yeah.
a lot of things have been kind of been revealing themselves slowly over time, and also the people that you thought were your friends, and
Yeah.
a lot of things have come to light. So
Mhm.
I appreciate this period because I'm pretty sure like when this is all said and done, like everybody's gonna come out of this. So
Yeah.
I just hope that the person I come out as is like an improved, more understanding, more capable version of myself.
Yeah. Well, fella, Steph, we coming to the end of our episode. It's been quite lengthy, but I'm sure it's gonna be audio candy for people that just want to sit down and soak up game.
That's always good, bro.
Man,
I miss talking to you, bro. Like we used to have like long conversations, bro.
Yeah,
Just
man.
about life,
I mean,
man.
yeah, we are like minds, man. We are like minds, and we, like one thing I like about, because to me, you're my favorite collaborator because you're easy to work with, and it's because when I was working with you, something that I don't experience with a lot of people is how first of all, you have humility. So you're who you are. You don't waver. You still do stand for whether you want to do something. You're Steph. Like you're who you are. You have humility. And one thing, you do put everything on your sleeve. Like you're a very honest person, and I always like that about your honesty. Your honesty is very. It's one of those things you don't see in the industry, in the music industry, because this is such of what have you done for me lately type of field that we are in. If you're hot and I'm popping, you're everybody's best friend. You're everybody's when you're hot, when you're hot, and then when you're not hot, that phone ain't ringing like the way it used to ring. Them texts ain't coming the way they used to come. Them collabo requests and shows don't come. So I understand how fickle and how made up relationships can be in this game. It's always about networking and having people in your contacts because you need something from them. But you have never needed anything from me, ever. Never needed anything from me. It's always based on how you feel. Let's collaborate. We can talk about Bryce, your son. We could talk about life. We never even sometimes talk about music, the thing that we do the most. And that's when I appreciate the collaboration, because I know, man, I already, man, that's a guy I would want to collaborate with, because first of all, me and him don't have ego issues. We don't have ego problems. I have done music with people, collaborated with them, but it's so hard to even call them my friend. I mean, I could call them friends, but the thing is, you could see how plastic conversation can be. You can see everything is centered based on our collaboration. You can see everything is centered based on, oh, by the way, when this comes out, I want you to roll it out like this. So do you want to do this half for the video, or you want to? And I'm like, everything is centered based on work, and I understand it's good to have working relationships, and that's something people are listening. Respect a working relationship. They're not your friends; they're your business partners. You're working, and respect them, love them with a working relationship mentality. That's not a person who's gonna get you out of jail. That's not a person you're gonna, vet to if you have mental health issues, and you're on the edge. You're on the edge in life. You're on the edge. You don't know whether you want to go to the next realm. Those are not the people, because in their head they're like, man, what's this going to do for me? For them, it's the question is, I'm talking to you, not to talk to you, but to help me. So like, and also the industry has a lot of happiness vampires. They come to just suck your happiness. Their job is just strictly to come. They're there and they're like little agents. They come to just suck your happiness. They suck your happiness. Their job is to, and they'll do it in a very calculated way. They'll first pump you up with compliments, and then afterwards they suck out your happiness a little bit by talking about another artist in front of you, and then going to the other artist and then talking about you in front of and then you find yourself clashing with somebody else, but this happiness person is not happy, so they want to start fiction. They could come in form of men, women, confidants, maybe artists share the same girl. They're happy. They just roam around trying to create situations of conflict. And then most seasoned artists start to become introverts when they're actually, they're extroverts, but they become introverts and keep to themselves and keep to their day one friends, because they don't trust the industry, because the industry is all plastic. It's everyone trying to get a corporate deal. It's everyone trying to just shake hands, kiss babies, pretend, do the right thing to get money. And I understand it's work. People do it at work. People talk to people they would never talk to in their free day because they have to work together. But what I'm saying is, when you come across a genuine person in the industry, somebody that randomly just checks on you just to check on your mental health, somebody that randomly checks on you just to say, hey man, I see your baby growing, man. I see, just randomly check. They don't have to check on you to say, I see your baby growing, but man, can you do me a favor? I need you to jump on this. So can you, like every time they hit you up, it follows up with, I need you to. And those are happiness agents, and happiness vampires that suck happiness. So any young people out there in any industry that you're in, be aware of your genuine people, that genuine, even though they critique you with harsh language, but understand the tone, understand that maybe that's how they speak, but necessarily they're not here to, maybe there's always context to everything, and avoid the happiness vampire, the one that comes to suck your happiness and joy.
Very, 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 very true. That's exactly what people go through.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Kapela. I know you're a busy person. You took your time out to sit down with me. I'm wishing you more success, highest of success. I pray there's no ceiling to your success, from to infinity and beyond with your success. I also always pray for your safety. I pray for your safe mental health. I pray for your I pray for your family too. Just wishing everything is great for you, and hopefully when this COVID-19 thing is done, I'll be in Kenya or Uganda. We link up one time for the one time. It don't even have to be on some music stuff because I'm fake retired. On something else, I'm fake retired. They have to. We had these conversations, but yeah, link up, like the old times, sit down with a little brewski if possible, or even just sit down and vibe out, man, and talk. But thank you, my brother, for your time. Lessons learned along the way,
bro. Thank you for all the kind words too, bro. Like, it's a great conversation. It's always a great conversation, but
yes, sir.
I think the listeners are really gonna find, like, they're really gonna profit from this. Like, honestly, like we've had like some real conversations.
Absolutely. Man.
Honestly, I'm just glad talking to you, man. It's been a minute.
And same here.
It didn't even really feel like an interview as much as it felt like we were just kind of like talking.
Chatting, man. Chatting. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Kapela. This has been Lesson Learned, and we out. Peace.